Listen to me. I need you to hear me with your heart. Not just your ears. You've been dreaming for too long, and now it's time to wake up and live the dream. Because the most powerful way to achieve your dreams is not talent, it's not luck, it's not even opportunity, it's relentless consistency. Some of you want the dream, but you don't want the discipline. You want the reward, but you don't want the routine. And I'm here to tell you, dreams don't chase you. You chase them with everything you got. I was homeless once, slept in abandoned buildings, but I had a dream. And every single day, even when I didn't see results, I showed up. And that's the secret. You gotta keep showing up. Day after day, when it's hard, when nobody believes in you, when you don't see progress. Because every rep, every grind, every sacrifice is building the foundation for your dream. The most powerful way to achieve your dreams is to commit with no exit strategy. Burn the boats. Tell yourself, I'm not leaving until I get what I came for. That's power. That's hunger. That's how you turn a dream into a reality. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is temporary. What you need is a mindset that said, I will not stop. I will not quit. I will not settle until I get what belongs to me. Remember this, dreams are expensive, cost time. They cost energy. They cost sleepless nights. But when you pay the price, when you refuse to give up, when you decide that the dream is non-negotiable, that's when you win. So I'm asking you right now, are you willing to give it everything? Because if you are, then nothing can stop you. Not fear, not failure, not setbacks. The most powerful way to achieve your dreams is simple. Stay committed, stay hungry, stay consistent, and never stop chasing greatness. I don't care how much talent you got. I don't care how gifted you are. I don't care if people call you a genius. If you don't have consistency, you will never reach your dreams. Because talent will take you to a place, but consistency will keep you there. Everybody loves talent. Everybody claps for talent. But let me tell you something. The graveyard is filled with talented people who never made it because they couldn't show up every single day. They had skill, but they didn't have discipline. They had potential, but they didn't have routine. And that's why you need to understand consistency beats talent every single time. You see, talent is exciting. It looks good. People get impressed when they see it. But consistency is boring. It's not sexy. It's waking up at 5 a.m. every day when nobody's clapping for you. It's running that extra mile when nobody's watching. It's studying another chapter when your friends are out having fun. Consistency is showing up when you don't feel like it. And that's why so many people fail. Because they want the applause. They want the spotlight. They want the results. But they don't want the grind that happens in the dark. Let me tell you my story. I wasn't the smartest kid. I wasn't the most talented. I wasn't supposed to be here. People counted me out. I dropped out of high school. I was homeless. I was living on the streets. If it was just about talent, I would have been finished. But what I had was consistency. Day after day, I kept going. I studied, I read, I practiced. I spoke to empty classrooms. I spoke to myself in the mirror. I spoke like the world was listening when nobody cared. And one day that consistency turned into an opportunity. That opportunity turned into more. And now I'm standing here, not because I was the most talented, but because I refused to stop showing up. That's what you need to do. Show up every single day. You can't do it sometimes. You can't do it when you feel like it. You can't do it when it's convenient. You gotta do it when it's raining, when you're tired, when you're sick, when you got every excuse in the world not to. Because consistency is about discipline, not feelings. And the truth is, most people let their feelings dictate their future. They don't feel like working, so they don't. They don't feel like grinding, so they quit. But let me tell you something. Your dreams don't care about your feelings. Your future doesn't care if you're tired. Success doesn't care if you're in the mood. The only thing that matters is, did you show up today? Did you do the work? And here's the powerful thing about consistency. At first, it doesn't look like much. You might do it for a week and you don't see results. You might do it for a month and still nothing changes. You might do it for a year and people laugh at you because they don't see any progress. But then one day, all that effort starts to stack up. The small things you did day after day, they turn into massive results. The discipline you built, it compounds. Consistency is like planting seeds. You don't see the tree right away, but if you water it every single day, one day it breaks the ground and grows tall. That's what consistency does. It makes the invisible visible. And here's the part you've got to understand. Talent fades if you don't feed it. You can be the best singer in the world, but if you don't practice every day, your voice will fade. You can be the best athlete, but if you don't train, your skills will disappear. You can be the smartest student, but if you don't study, you will fail. Consistency is the fuel that keeps talent alive. Without it, you're just a one-hit wonder. With it, you become unstoppable. Some of you are waiting for the perfect time. You're saying, when I get motivated, I'll start. Or when the opportunity comes, I'll be ready. No, that's not how it works. Opportunity will pass you by if you're not consistent. Because life doesn't reward the talented, it rewards the prepared, and preparation comes from consistency. That's why you see people with less talent than you achieving more. You wonder why? It's because while you were waiting for motivation, they were grinding. While you were sleeping, they were working. While you were making excuses, they were building habits. And those habits became results. You've got to fall in love with the process, not the outcome. Because if you're only focused on the outcome, you'll quit when it doesn't come fast enough. But if you love the process, if you love the grind, if you love the discipline of showing up every day, then the results will take care of themselves. You can't chase the prize. You have to chase the habits that create the prize. That's what consistency is all about. And let me give you some real talk. Consistency is painful. It's uncomfortable. It means saying no when you want to say yes. It means waking up early when you want to sleep in. It means working on your dream when nobody believes in it, but you. It means sacrificing comfort today for greatness tomorrow. And most people aren't willing to do that. That's why the majority settle and only a few achieve greatness. Because greatness demands consistency. Think about it. A bodybuilder doesn't get strong by lifting weights once a month. They do it every single day. A musician doesn't master their craft by practicing once in a while. They practice until their fingers bleed. A student doesn't become a doctor by studying when they feel like it. They study every single day for years until they master it. Consistency is the key that unlocks every dream. So ask yourself right now, are you consistent? Not just when it's easy, not just when it's convenient, but when it's hard, because that's the true test. Everybody can do it when it feels good, but can you do it when it hurts? Can you do it when you're tired? Can you do it when nobody's watching? That's where greatness is born. That's where dreams become reality. Stop telling yourself you need more talent. Stop telling yourself you need more resources. Stop telling yourself you need more time. Because I knew if I wanted to be great, I couldn't depend on how I felt. I had to depend on my commitment. That's the problem with most of you. You're motivated when it's new. You're motivated when it's easy. You're motivated when it's easy. You're motivated when everybody's cheering for you. But the moment it gets hard, the moment nobody's watching, the moment life hits you, you stop. And you wonder why you're stuck. You wonder why your dreams aren't moving. It's because you're waiting to feel like it. Hey, let me break it to you. You're not always going to feel like it, so stop waiting. Discipline says, I'm going to do it regardless. And here's the truth. Motivation is a feeling, but discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first, it's hard. At first, it feels like a fight. But if you keep practicing discipline, if you keep doing what you said you would do even when you don't want to, it becomes a habit. And once it's a habit, it becomes who you are. That's when success becomes inevitable. Because now you don't have to push yourself to do it, it's automatic. It's part of your identity. Some of you are motivated for a week, then you stop. Then you get motivated again for a few days and you stop. You live your whole life in this cycle of stop. You never get anywhere because you don't stay long enough in the process to see the results. But discipline breaks that cycle. Discipline locks you in. Discipline keeps you moving forward, little by little, day by day, until one day you look back and realize how far you've come. And let me say this, discipline is freedom. Most of you think discipline is punishment. You think it's restriction. You think it's boring. But the truth is, discipline is what gives you the freedom to live the life you want. When you're disciplined with your money, you get financial freedom. When you're disciplined with your health, you get physical freedom. When you're disciplined with your time, you get the freedom to do what matters most. Without discipline, you become a slave to your feelings, a slave to your circumstances, a slave to every distraction around you. But with discipline, you take control. You own your life. So here's the question. Do you want to be motivated or do you want to be disciplined? Because if you're only motivated, you'll always be chasing a spark. But if you're disciplined, you create your own fire. Motivation is the appetizer, but discipline is the main course. And if you're serious about achieving your dreams, you can't just snack on motivation. You've got to feast on discipline. I need you to stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you'll do it when you feel like it. Stop saying you'll start when you're motivated. Stop waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect moment, the perfect energy. That day may never come. But discipline doesn't need a perfect day. Discipline says, I'll do it now. I'll do it tired. I'll do it scared. I'll do it hungry. I'll do it broke. I'll do it whether I feel like it or not. And that's the difference between people who dream and people who achieve. I want you to think about the moments in your life when you didn't feel like it, but you pushed through anyway. Maybe you didn't feel like studying, but you did, and you passed the exam. Maybe you didn't feel like working out, but you did, and you got stronger. Maybe you didn't feel like going to work, but you did, and you got that paycheck. Those little moments are proof that you don't need motivation. You just need to decide. You just need to discipline yourself to do it anyway. And here's what's going to happen. The more disciplined you become, the less you'll even think about motivation. Because discipline builds results, and results create motivation. That's the real secret. You don't get motivated first. You get disciplined first. And the motivation comes later when you start to see the fruits of your work. So stop waiting. Stop scrolling for another motivational video. No, stop searching for another quote. Stop depending on somebody else to hype you up. Hype yourself up by doing the work. Hype yourself up by being disciplined. Hype yourself up by keeping your own promises. Because at the end of the day, motivation feels good, but discipline gets it done. And your dream will never be achieved by how motivated you felt. It will be achieved by how disciplined you were. Sometimes the reason you're not reaching your dream is because you've got too many exit doors. You've got too many backup plans. You're keeping a plan B in your pocket just in case plan A doesn't work. And I'm here to tell you, as long as you've got a plan B, you'll never give 100% to plan A. As long as you've got an escape route, you'll never fight with everything you've got. If you really want your dream, you gotta burn the boats. No turning back, no safety net, no way out. Just you, your vision, and the grind until you get there. There's a story about warriors who went to battle. They sailed across the ocean to fight, and when they got to the enemy's shore, their leader told them the boats. Why? Because he wanted them to understand there was no going back. Victory or death, win or nothing. And when the soldiers knew there was no retreat, they fought harder, they dug deeper, they gave everything they had. And guess what? They won. That's the mentality you need if you want to achieve your dream. Stop leaving room to quit. Stop leaving room to run. Burn the boat. The problem with so many of you is that you're already preparing your excuse before you even start. You say, if this doesn't work, I'll go back to my old job. If this fails, I'll just do something else. If this doesn't pan out, at least I'll try. That's weak. That's not commitment. That's not hunger. That's not how greatness is built. Greatness is built when you say, this has to work. I don't have another option. I don't have a backup plan. I'm not turning back a plan. I'm not turning back until I get what I came for. That's when you start tapping into the deepest levels of your strength. That's when you discover what you're really capable of. I was homeless once, living in abandoned buildings, no diploma, no money, no place to go. And I had to decide, am I going to quit or am I going to fight? And let me tell you, if I had a plan B back then, I would have taken it. If I had an easy way out, I would have used it, but I didn't. I burned the boats. I said, this speaking thing, this education thing, this dream of mine, it has to work. I've got no choice. And because I had no choice, I gave it everything. I studied harder. I worked harder. I stayed up later. I talked earlier, and that's why I'm here today. Not because I was more talented, not because I was luckier, but because I burned the boats and refused to go back. You've got to stop living like you've got all the time in the world. You got to stop treating your dream like it's optional. You got to stop putting one foot in and keeping one foot out. That's why you're not moving forward. Because you're not all in. You're halfway committed. You got one hand on your dream and the other hand still holding on to your comfort zone. And as long as you're divided, you'll never succeed. You've got to let go. You got to commit fully. You got to put your whole life into this thing. Burning the boats doesn't mean you don't prepare. It doesn't mean you don't plan. It doesn't mean you don't work smart. But it does mean you don't allow yourself to quit. It does mean you cut off every excuse. It does mean you stop saying, if it doesn't work. No, when it works, when I get there, when I win. That's the mindset. You speak it, you believe it, you live it like there's no other option. And let me keep it real. It's scary to burn the boats. It's scary to give up your safety net. It's scary to step into the unknown with nothing but faith and hard work. But listen to me. Fear will keep you comfortable and comfort will keep you average. You can't have both comfort and greatness. You gotta choose. And if you choose greatness, you gotta be willing to burn everything that keeps you tied to mediocrity. Some of you got too many distractions, too many things pulling you away from your dream, too many people in your ear telling you to settle, too many old habits keeping you stuck. Burn the boats, cut them off, cut them off. Get rid of the excuses, the toxic people, the distractions that are holding you back. You can't reach new levels carrying old baggage. You can't step into your future holding on to your past. When you burn the boats, something powerful happens. Your focus sharpens. Your energy multiplies. Your creativity explodes. Why? Because now your mind knows there's no retreat. It knows it has to find a way. It knows it has to push past every obstacle. And when the human mind is backed into a corner with no way out, it becomes unstoppable. That's why you see ordinary people achieve extraordinary things when their back is against the wall. That's why you see people rise from nothing and build empires. Because they had no backup plan. They burned the boats. You keep asking me, hey, how do I stay motivated? You don't need motivation. You need desperation. You need to put yourself in a position where you don't have the option to quit. That's stronger than motivation. Because when you're desperate, when you will burn the boats, when you know there's no going back, you'll find strength you didn't know you had. You'll find resources you didn't know existed. You'll find a way to keep moving even when everything around you says stop. You've got to want it so bad. You've got to want it so bad that you're willing to risk everything else for it. You've got to want it so bad that you'd rather die on the battlefield chasing your dream than live comfortably, never trying. That's what burning the boats is about. It's about saying I'm all in. Win or lose, succeed or fail, I'm not retreating. Oh. And when you live like that, success has no choice but to show up. Think about it. How many times have you quit because you had another option? How many times did you give up on your diet because you said, it's okay, I'll start again next month? How many times did you quit on your business because you said, I'll just go back to my job? How many times did you quit on your dream because you said, it's fine, I'll try again later? That's what's killing you. Those boats you keep leaving in the water are what's holding you back. Burn them. Destroy them. Don't give yourself the chance to turn around. The only way to truly know what you're capable of is to put yourself in a position where you can't quit. Quitting isn't even on the table. That's when you'll find out what you're really made of. That's when you'll discover how much power you got inside you. Because the truth is, you're stronger than you think. You're more resilient than you know. But you'll never see it until you burn the boats and force yourself to fight with everything you got. And let me tell you something else. When you burn the boats, people will call you crazy. They'll say you're reckless. They'll say you're unrealistic. They'll say you should keep a backup plan. But those same people will be the ones clapping for you when you succeed. Those same people will be the ones asking you how you did it and get it. And you'll be able to tell them, I did it because I was all in. I did it because I burned the boats. So I need you to make a decision. Are you going to keep living with one foot in and one foot out? Or are you going to commit fully to your dream? Are you going to keep giving yourself excuses, or are you going to cut them off forever? Are you going to keep holding on to a plan B, or are you finally going to go all in on plan A? Because until you do, you'll never know what you could have been. Burn the boats. No retreat, no surrender. No excuses. Just you, your dream, and the fight of your life until you win. Everybody wants the dream. Everybody wants the success. Everybody wants the lifestyle. But when it comes to paying the price, most people walk away. Most people want to hold the trophy without running the race. Most people want the reward without making the sacrifice. And I'm here to tell you right now, you don't get dreams for free. You don't get success on discount. There is no buy one, get one deal on greatness. If you want it, you've got to pay for it. And the currency is sacrifice. Sacrifice means giving up something you love for something you love more. It means saying no when your body is screaming yes. It means missing out on comfort so you can build a life that others can only dream about. The reason some people never achieve their goals is because they're not willing to let go of the things holding them back. They want to party and still get straight A's. They want to sleep all day and still be successful entrepreneurs. They want to waste money and still have financial freedom. It doesn't work that way. You can't have both. You've got to decide what matters more, temporary pleasure or long-term success. I remember when I was chasing my dream, I had to make sacrifices that hurt. I had to give up sleep. I had to give up hanging out. I had to give up comfort. I had to give up time. I had to give up time with friends because I knew that if I didn't grind, if I didn't focus, I'd never get here. I didn't get here because I was the smartest. I didn't get here because I was the most talented. I got here because I was willing to sacrifice things that other people weren't. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. It hurt. It wasn't easy. It hurt. There were nights I wanted to quit. Nights I wanted to give in. Nights I wondered if the sacrifice was worth it, but every single time I reminded myself of the dream. I reminded myself that the life I wanted was bigger than the comfort I was giving up, and now I can tell you, it was worth it. The truth is, sacrifice is what separates the talkers from the doers. Talk is cheap. Anybody can say, I want to be successful. But the real question is, what are you willing to give up to get it? Are you willing to sacrifice sleep? Are you willing to sacrifice your weekends? Are you willing to sacrifice that Netflix binge? Are you willing to sacrifice toxic people in your life? Are you willing to sacrifice the version of yourself that loves comfort more than prize? Because if you're not, then stop saying you want it. Stop saying you're hungry when you're not willing to fast. Stop saying you're desperate when you're not willing to bleed for it. I know what you're thinking. It's hard. Of course, it's hard. That's the point. If it was easy, everybody would do it. If it was easy, success wouldn't mean anything. If it was easy, there'd be no difference between the greats and the average. Sacrifice is the filter that separates the committed from the curious. Most people are curious about success. They're interested in the dream. They like the idea of it. But the committed, the ones who are willing to pay the price, those are the ones who get it. And don't get it twisted. Sacrifice doesn't always mean you have to give up bad things. Sometimes it means giving up good things for greater things. Sometimes it means saying no to opportunities that look shiny because they're not aligned with your purpose. Sometimes it means walking away from relationships that are comfortable because they don't push you forward. Sometimes it means delaying gratification, giving up pleasure today for freedom tomorrow. That's sacrifice. Some of you want to be successful, but you don't want to miss sleep. You don't want to miss meals. You don't want to miss meals. You don't want to miss hanging out with your friends. You don't want to miss comfort. Let me tell you something. Dreams and comfort don't live on the same street. You can't chase your dream while holding hands with your comfort zone. One of them has to go. And if you really want to achieve greatness, you've got to be willing to let go of comfort. Sacrifice isn't permanent. That's the beauty of it. You're not giving something up forever. You're giving it up now so you can have something better later. You're giving up small pleasures today so you can live a life of abundance tomorrow. But the problem is, most people are so focused on the now, they can't see the future. They're so addicted to instant gratification, they can't endure delayed gratification, and that's why they stay stuck. That's why they never break out, because they keep choosing short-term comfort over long-term success. I want you to imagine this. Imagine planting a seed. If you eat the seed now, it'll satisfy you for a moment. But if you sacrifice eating it, if you put it in the ground, if you water it, if you wait, one day it grows into a tree that feeds you for a lifetime. That's what sacrifice is. Sacrifice is saying no to eating the seed so you can have the tree. But most people eat the seed because they don't want to wait. Don't be most people. Be the one who sacrifices now so you can live later. Let me make it practical. If you want to build a business, you might have to sacrifice hanging out with your friends on weekends. If you want to get fit, you might have to sacrifice fast food and sweets. If you want to graduate, you might have to sacrifice parties and late nights. If you want to be wealthy, you might have to sacrifice buying unnecessary stuff. If you want a strong family, you might have to sacrifice ego and selfishness. Whatever your dream is, it's going to require sacrifice. The bigger the dream, the bigger the sacrifice. And here's the thing, when you make sacrifices, people won't understand. They'll laugh at you. They'll call you boring. They'll call you obsessed. They'll say you're wasting your time. They'll say you've changed. And they're right. You have changed. You've chosen to give up average so you can chase greatness. You've chosen to pay the price they're not willing to pay. And one day when they're still living the same life and you're living your dream, they'll realize why you sacrificed. Sacrifice is lonely. It's uncomfortable. It feels unfair sometimes. But that's the cost of success. You've got to be willing to walk alone for a season so you can walk with the crowd later. You've got to be willing to grind in silence so you can shine in public. You got to be willing to suffer temporarily so you can succeed permanently. That's the trade. That's the trade. That's the exchange. That's the sacrifice. And let me say this. If you're not willing to sacrifice, your dream will become your sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice for what you want will be the sacrifice. If you don't give up something for your dream will be the thing you give up. You got to decide which one matters more. Are you going to sacrifice for your dream, or are you going to sacrifice your dream for your comfort? The choice is yours. I need you to start asking yourself, what am I willing to give up? What am I holding on to that's keeping me from my next level? What comfort am I refusing to release that's costing me my future? Because until you answer those questions and take action, your dream will stay out of reach. Listen to me carefully. Success is not about what you're willing to gain. It's about what you're willing to give up. And when you're willing to sacrifice everything for your dream, that's when the universe opens doors. That's when opportunities show up. That's when you see the results you've been chasing. Because success respects sacrifice. Dreams bold as sacrifice. Greatness demands sacrifice. When you talk about achieving your dreams, you can't tiptoe into it. You can't play halfway. You can't dip one toe in the water and expect to swim. You've got to be relentless. Relentless means no matter what comes at you, no matter how many times you get knocked down, no matter how heavy the pressure gets, you keep coming. You don't stop. You don't fold. You don't back down. Relentless means you have decided in your soul that quitting is not an option, that you are going to get what you came for, or you are going to die trying. I need you to hear me. Most people don't fail because they don't have talent. Most people don't fail because they don't have opportunities. They fail because they don't have the mindset to keep going when it hurts. They quit too soon. They stop when it gets uncomfortable. They stop when it gets hard. When it gets hard, when they get tired. But the great ones are relentless. The great ones are the ones who feel the same pain, face the same struggles, get the same no's, the same doors slammed in their faces, but they refuse to let it break them. They refuse to take no for an answer. They refuse to settle for average. That's what separates the winners from the rest. Relentlessness. When you're relentless, you don't need a plan B. You don't need a backup option. You don't need a safety net. You burn the boats, you cut the ropes, you said, this is it, and I will not be denied. Relentless people don't ask, what if I fail? They ask, what if I win? They don't wake up hoping the dream comes true. They wake up determined to make it come true. And if it takes 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, they're still chasing, still grinding, still knocking on doors. And here's the truth. Being relentless doesn't mean you won't get tired. It doesn't mean you won't get frustrated. It doesn't mean you won't cry or hurt or even want to quit sometime. Being relentless means despite all of that, you keep pushing. It means your dream is so important to you that pain becomes fuel. Rejection becomes motivation. Failure becomes education. And every single setback just makes you hungrier. That's what relentlessness looks like. You got to get to a point where you stop negotiating with yourself. Because some of you, every time it gets hard, you start having conversations in your head. EB, I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should take the easy way. Maybe I should settle. And that negotiation is why you stay stuck. Relentless people don't negotiate with their dreams. They don't lower the standard because it's tough. They don't scale back because it's painful. They don't water down their vision because people doubt them. Relentless means once I said yes, I meant yes. Once I committed all the way. Once I started, I'm not stopping until it's done. Let me tell you something. Relentless people don't need motivation every day. They don't need someone patting them on the back. They don't need applause. They don't need validation. They've got something inside of them that burns day and night. Relentless people don't care if you believe in them. They don't care if you clap for them. They don't care if you support them because their belief in themselves is bigger than your doubt. Their determination is bigger than your criticism. Their grind is louder than your words. I remember when I was at my lowest, homeless, eating out of trash can, everybody counted me out. Nobody was clapping. Nobody believed in me. Nobody thought I was gonna make it. If I had stopped because people didn't believe, I wouldn't be standing here today. What kept me going was that relentless spirit. That voice inside that said, you got more. 8, don't stop now. 8, you're not done. That's what kept me alive. That's what made the difference. And I'm telling you, you've got to develop that same spirit. Relentless means when they tell you no, you ask again. When they close one door, you knock on another. When they lock the building, you climb through the window. When they push you down, you get back up. When life punches you, you punch back harder. Relentless means you refuse to be outworked, outlasted, or outwilled. Somebody may have more talent. Somebody may have more resources. Somebody may even have more connections, but they will not have more heart than you. They will not outlast you because you refuse to stop. I need you to picture a lion. A lion doesn't quit chasing because the prey runs fast. A lion doesn't stop hunting because it missed the first attempt. A lion doesn't say, oh, well, I go hungry today. A lion keeps going until it eats. That's what being relentless is. You don't stop until you get what you came for. You don't walk away hungry. You don't walk away empty. You don't settle for scraps when you know there's a feast waiting if you just keep pushing. Some of you are too quick to settle. You say you want the dream, but the first time it doesn't work out, you'll back off. The first time someone tells you no, you quit. The first time it gets hard, you fold. You can't live like that and expect greatness. You've got to be relentless. You've got to be willing to fail 100 times, 1,000 times, if that's what it takes. Because failure isn't final. The only thing that's final is quitting. And relentless people don't quit. And let me tell you, being relentless isn't about intensity for one day. It's about consistency every day. Some of you get fired up for 24 hours, maybe a week, maybe a month, but then you fizzle out. Relentless means I'm coming every single day, whether I feel like it or not. Relentless means I show up on the days I'm sick, the days I'm tired, the days I'm discouraged, the days I don't see results, because I know if I keep showing up, eventually the results will come. The problem is some of you keep letting emotions run your life. You only grind when you feel good. You only chase the dream when it's convenient. But success doesn't care about your feelings. Dreams don't respond to your moods. Greatness doesn't show up because you're motivated today. It shows up because you were relentless yesterday, today, tomorrow, and the next day. That's how you win. When you're relentless, obstacles don't scare you. They excite you. Because you know every obstacle is proof that you're on the right path. Every challenge is confirmation that you're growing. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Relentless people don't run from obstacles, they run at them. They don't avoid the storm, they walk into it. Because they know the storm won't last forever, but their dream will. You gotta stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for everything to line up. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop waiting for people to support you. Relentless people don't wait. They create. They don't wait for opportunities. They make opportunities. They don't wait for permission. They take action, because waiting kills more dreams than failure ever will. Relentless means you've made up your mind that no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how lonely it feels, you are not backing down. It's a decision, not a feeling. And once you decide, it's done. You stop second guessing, you stop wavering. You stop hesitating. You lock in and you go. And here's the last thing. Relentless doesn't mean reckless. It doesn't mean running blind. It means having the discipline to stay focused, the patience to keep going. Progress is slow, the courage to stand tall when others walk away, and the faith to believe even when you can't see it yet. Relentless means your vision is so clear, your commitment is so deep, and your hunger is so real that nothing can stop you. You can't achieve your dreams in isolation, and you sure can't achieve them if you're surrounded by the wrong people. Some of you are losing, not because you lack talent, not because you lack ability, not because you lack resources, but because you're around people who don't believe in you, people who don't push you, people who don't challenge you, people who don't challenge you, people who don't hold you accountable. And let me be real with you. Who you spend your time with will either take you closer to your dreams or drag you further away. If you want to fly with eagles, you can't keep scratching with chickens. If you want to run with lions, you can't spend your life with sheep. The people you keep in your circle matter. Because here's the truth. Environment shapes energy and energy shapes execution. If the people around you are lazy, it's only a matter of time before their laziness seeps into you. If the people around you don't dream big, it's only a matter of time before your dream starts shrinking. If the people around you are negative, it's only a matter of time before you stop believing. That's how powerful environment is. When I was at my lowest, when I was living in abandoned buildings, I didn't just need to change my mindset. I needed to change my circle. Because some of the people I was around didn't want me to rise. They were okay with mediocrity. They were okay with being stuck. They were okay with blaming the world instead of taking responsibility. And if I had stayed around them, I would have stayed stuck too. But when I started surrounding myself with people who believed in growth, people who pushed me, people who were chasing something bigger, that's when my life started to change. Some of you are too loyal to the wrong people. You're holding on to relationships that are killing your dream. You're staying connected to people who keep you small. You're hanging out with people who don't clap for you, who don't challenge you, who don't support you. And then you wonder why you're stuck. Let me tell you something. Loyalty to the wrong people will cost you your destiny. You gotta have the courage to cut ties. You gotta have the strength to say, love you, but I can't stay here. I care about you, but I can't keep living small. Because your dream deserves people who will water it, not people who will poison it. And let's be clear, the right people aren't always the ones who tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes the right people are the ones who call you out. Sometimes the right people are the ones who challenge you when you slack off. Sometimes the right people are the ones who make you uncomfortable because they refuse to let you settle. The right people will not let you quit on yourself. The right people will not let you stay average. The right people will drag greatness out of you even when you don't see it in yourself. If you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. If you show me your circle, I'll show you your ceiling. That's how real this is. Because energy is contagious. Attitudes are contagious. Habits are contagious. If you're around people who make excuses, you're going to start making excuses. If you're around people who settle, you're going to start settling. If you're around people who dream small, you're going to start shrinking your dream. But if you surround yourself with people who refuse to give up, people who are grinding every day, people who are dreaming bigger than life itself, you'll catch that fire too. You need people in your circle who celebrate your wins, but more importantly, you need people who hold you accountable when you slip. You need people who look you in the eye and say, you said you wanted this. Why are you slacking? Why are you sleeping in? Why are you skipping to work? You need people who remind you of the standard you set for yourself when you start lowering it. That's love. That's support. That's what helps you grow. Some of you are still trying to carry people who don't want to go where you're going. You're trying to drag dead weight into your destiny. You're trying to pull people who are content with average into a life of greatness. And I need you to hear me. Everybody can't go with you. Not everybody has the capacity. Not everybody has the vision. Not everybody has the hunger. And the longer you try to carry people who don't want to grow, the heavier your journey becomes. At some point, you gotta let go. Not because you don't love them, but because you love your future more. And here's another thing. Don't just look for people ahead of you. Look for people on your level who push you, and look for people behind you who remind you of how far you come. Because you need all three. You need mentors who stretch your vision, peers who sharpen your grind, and mentees who remind you why you started. That balance keeps you hungry, keeps you humble, and keeps you focused. Let me break it down. If you're in a circle where you're the smartest person, you're in the wrong circle. If you're in a circle where you're the most driven, you're in the wrong circle. If you're in a circle where you're the most disciplined, you're in the wrong circle. You need to be around people who make you feel small sometimes. You need to be around people who make you uncomfortable. You need to be around people who challenge you to level up. Because comfort zones never produce greatness. Stop wasting energy trying to convince people who don't believe in you. Stop begging people to clap for you. Stop explaining your vision to people who can't see it. If they don't get it, that's fine. They're not meant to. The right people will get it. The right people will see it. The right people will believe in it, sometimes more than you do. Those are your people. Find them, hold on to them, build with them. And let me warn you, not everybody who smiles in your face is for you. Not everybody who calls you friend is in your corner. Some people are around just to drain your energy. Some people are around to ride your coattails. Watch how people act when you grow. The right people will always push you higher. The wrong people will always try to pull you back. And this isn't just about friendships. This is about every relationship in your life. Who you marry matters. Who you partner with in business matters. Who you choose to listen to matters. Every voice in your life is either pushing you toward your destiny or pulling you away from it. Be careful whose voice you allow in your head. You've got to create an environment of growth. You've got to create a circle where dreams are normal, where hard work is expected, where accountability is loved. You've got to build a team where iron sharpens iron, where no one is allowed to quit, where no one is allowed to settle. That's how dynasties are built. That's how greatness is achieved. Not alone, but together with the right people. So here's the question. Who's in your circle? Who are you spending your time with? Who's influencing your thoughts, your energy, your habits? Because I promise you, your dream is too important to waste time with the wrong crowd. You've got to make some tough decisions. You've got to let go of some people. You've got to seek out new people. You've got to be intentional about who you let in. Because at the end of the day, you don't rise to the level of your dreams. You rise to the level of your circle. And if you want to achieve greatness, you've got to surround yourself with greatness. If you want to achieve your dream, you've got to surround yourself with dreamers. If you want to go to the next level, you've got to surround yourself with people who live there already. That's the law. That's the truth. That's the way to the top. I need you to understand something today. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is not the thing trying to destroy you. Pain is the thing trying to develop you. Every dream you want, every goal you're chasing, every level you're trying to reach is on the other side of pain. And the people who win in life are not the ones who avoid pain. They're the ones who learn how to use it, how to flip it, how to turn pain into power. Most people run from pain. They avoid it. They hide from it. They numb it with distractions, with entertainment, with comfort. They try to skip the process. They try to skip the grind. They try to skip the struggle. But let me tell you this. You cannot have growth without pain. You cannot have strength without resistance. You cannot have power without pressure. Diamonds are made under pressure. Muscles grow through tension. Success is born out of struggle. So stop running from pain and stop running through it. I remember the nights when I was homeless, sleeping on the streets, wondering if I would ever make it. That pain was real. That hunger was real. That shame was real. But instead of letting it break me, I let it build me. I let it fuel me. I told myself I would never live like this again. That pain became the fire that pushed me to study harder, to grind longer, to fight for my dream when everybody else quit. If I didn't go through that pain, I wouldn't be standing here today. Pain has a purpose. It's trying to teach you something. It's trying to show you something about yourself, about your limits, about your strength. Pain exposes the truth. When life hits you, when you're hurting, when you're crying, when you're broken, that's when you find out what you're really made of. Anybody can smile when things are easy. Anybody can stay motivated when life is smooth. But pain is the test. Pain is the referee that checks if you're serious about your dream. And here's the secret. You can take that pain and recycle it into fuel. The heartbreak, the rejection, the failure, the struggle. You don't let it stop you. You let it drive you. You take every no and let it make you hungrier. You take every setback and let it sharpen your focus. You take every tear and let it water your grind. That's how you turn pain into power. You got to stop asking, I me, and start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because the moment you shift your perspective, the moment you see pain as a teacher instead of a curse, you gain control. You stop being a victim and you start being a warrior. You stop letting pain dictate your story and you start using it to write a better one. Think about it. Some of the greatest people that ever walked this earth turned their deepest pain into their greatest contribution. Athletes who were doubted became legends because the pain of being overlooked pushed them to work harder. Entrepreneurs who lost everything built empires because the pain of failure made them fearless. Leaders who faced rejection and ridicule changed nations because the pain of being ignored gave them fire. The people we admire most are the ones who refuse to let pain destroy them. They let pain transform them. You gotta be willing to lean into pain. I know it hurts. I know it feels unfair. I know it feels like it's crushing you. But if you lean into it, if you breathe through it, if you let it shape you, you'll come out stronger than you ever imagined. Pain is the gem of life. It breaks you down only to build you up. But only if you stay in it. Only if you don't quit. Only if you don't tap out. I need you to think about the last time you went through something tough. Maybe you lost somebody. Maybe you failed at something. Maybe you failed at something. Maybe you felt betrayed. Maybe you were broke. And yet here you are. You survived. You made it through. Which means pain didn't kill you. It made you tougher. It added something to you. You didn't think you could make it, but you did. That's proof right there that you are stronger than you think. That's proof that pain isn't the end of you. It's the beginning of the stronger you. And let me tell you, when you learn to use pain, nobody can stop you. Because pain is the one thing everybody faces. Rich or poor, black or white, young or old, pain is universal. The difference is some people let it break them, while others let it build them. If you become the type of person who can take pain and flip it into power, you become unstoppable. You become dangerous because life can't scare you anymore. Failure doesn't scare you. Hardship doesn't scare you. Hardship doesn't scare you. Setbacks don't scare you. You trained yourself to take whatever comes and use it. When the storm comes, don't just survive it. Thrive in it. When the fire comes, don't just endure it. Let it refine you. When the pain comes, don't just cry about it. Let it fuel you. Every great champion, every great leader, every great success story has one thing in common. They turned their pain into power. And let me make this practical. If you've been broke, use that pain to fuel your financial discipline. If you've been rejected, use that pain to push yourself to improve until you can't be ignored. If you've been betrayed, use that pain to build stronger boundaries and deeper wisdom. If you failed, use that pain to refine your strategy and come back stronger. Don't waste your pain. Don't let it just sit there. Channel it, transform it. Let it work for you. You can cry, but don't quit. You can hurt, but don't stop. You can fall, but don't stay down. Every tear is a seed. Every wound is a lesson. Every struggle is a setup for strength, but only if you keep going. Only if you don't give in. Some of you have been through too much pain to not win. You've cried too many tears to not succeed. You've suffered too much to not rise. Don't let your pain be wasted. Don't let it be for nothing. You've got to take all that hurt, all that heartbreak, all that disappointment and let it fuel your hunger. Let it remind you why you started. Let it push you when you want to quit. I know what it feels like to be broken. I know what it feels like to hurt. I know what it feels like to wonder if the pain will ever end. But I also know what it feels like to rise out of it. I know what it feels like to look back and realize the thing that tried to break me actually built me. I know what it feels like to turn my deepest wounds into my greatest weapons. And if I can do it, so can you. So the next time pain shows up, don't run, don't hide, don't numb it. Look it in the eye and say, I see you, I feel you, but you will not destroy me. I'm going to use you. I'm going to turn you into fuel. I'm going to let you make me stronger, wiser, tougher, hungrier. That's how you flip it. That's how you take pain and turn it into power. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. It is part of success. The truth is, you cannot separate the two. Every great person you admire, every champion you look up to, every millionaire, every inventor, every leader, every athlete, they have all tasted failure. The only difference between them and the people who quit is simple. They didn't let failure define them. They let it refine them. That's what makes the difference. Too many of you let one rejection, one setback make you throw in the towel. But I'm here to tell you, failure is not your enemy. Failure is your greatest teacher, your most honest coach, your mirror that shows you what needs to change. It's feedback, not a final verdict. Think about it. You fell hundreds of times before you ever learned how to walk. If your parents had let you quit after falling, you'd still be crawling today. You stuttered and mispronounced words before you ever learned how to speak clearly. If you had given up then, you wouldn't be talking today. Failure is natural. It's part of the growth process. But somewhere along the line, as you grew older, people started laughing at mistakes. Teachers started grading you with red ink. Society started labeling failure as shame, and you believed them. You believed failure meant we were not good enough. But listen to me. Failure doesn't mean you're finished. It means you're trying. It means you're in the arena. It means you're swinging. It means you're not sitting on the sidelines. Failure is the proof that you are in motion. Now, let me break it down. Every time you fail, life is asking you one simple question. How bad do you want it? Because if one rejection can break you, if one mistake can stop you, if one failure can convince you that it's not meant for you, then you never wanted it in the first place. You wanted the convenience, not the commitment. You wanted the reward, not the responsibility. And dreams don't belong to the half-hearted. They belong to the relentless. They belong to the person who can fall 7 times and get up 8. They belong to the one who can lose everything and still wake up the next morning, ready to rebuild from nothing. Let me give you the truth. Failure is the training ground. It's where you get sharper, stronger, tougher. Every failed business teaches you how to run the next one smarter. Every failed relationship teaches you how to love deeper and respect more. Every failed attempt at greatness chisels away your weaknesses until what's left is unshakable strength. But the problem is, most people never stay long enough in the process to see that transformation. They quit too soon. They throw away the lesson before they ever master. They want the diploma of success, but don't want to sit through the classroom of failure. And because of that, they stay stuck where they are, safe, comfortable, but unfulfilled. You've got to understand this. Failure is not final unless you quit. As long as you keep moving, as long as you keep learning, as long as you keep adjusting, you are still in the game. Think about Thomas Edison. Thousands of failed attempts before he created the light bulb. And when people asked him about his failures, he said, I didn't fail. I just found thousands of ways that didn't work. That's the mindset you need. It's not about failing, it's about collecting data. Every attempt is information. Every setback is instruction. Life is not rejecting you. Life is redirecting you. But here's the part you don't want to hear. Failure hurts. It will break your heart. It will test your confidence. It will make you question yourself. And that's why so many people quit. They can't handle the pain. But champions use the pain as fuel. Champions let the heartbreak light a fire inside of them. Champions cry, but then they wipe their tears and get back in the fight. Champions feel fear, but they act anyway. Champions fail, but they don't fold. Because they understand that every scar is a story. Every bruise is a badge of honor. Every wound is proof that they had the courage to try. Failure is also the filter. It separates the pretenders from the real ones. Anybody can start, but only the ones willing to endure failure will finish. Anybody can dream, but only the ones willing to face setbacks will reach the dream. So the next time you fail, don't you dare see it as the end. See it as a test. See it as life asking you, do you have the guts to keep going? And if you can answer yes, if you can keep grinding even after falling flat on your face, then success is not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. I need you to reframe failure in your mind. Stop calling it defeat, start calling it development. Stop calling it rejection, start calling it redirection. Stop calling it the end, start calling it evolution. When you fail, you are evolved. You are shedding the old version of yourself and becoming someone stronger, wiser, tougher, and more prepared. Failure is not a wall to stop you. It's a door to prepare you. The ones who win are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who fail forward. So from this day forward, don't run from failure, run toward it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Be afraid of standing still. Don't let the world laugh at your attempts. Let them laugh, because one day the same people who doubted you will celebrate you, but only if you endure, only if you keep getting up. Only if you keep seeing failure not as an enemy, but as the friend that makes you stronger. When you fail, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How is this shaping me? What do I need to do differently? Then get back in the ring. The most successful people are not the smartest, not the most talented, not the luckiest. They are the ones who simply refuse to quit after failing. They are the ones who understand that failure is not a curse, it is a gift. Is the process that strips away weakness and builds resilience. Is the storm that prepares you for the sunshine. It is the weight room where strength is built. Them telling you right now you will fail, you will stumble, you will fall flat on your face. And when that happens, don't let your story end there. Let it be the middle chapter, not the last page. Let it be the setup for the comeback, not the excuse for the retreat. Because the ones who succeed are the ones who embrace failure, learn from it, and then use it as fuel to push even harder. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is the blueprint. Failure is the teacher. Failure is the test. Failure is the fire. And if you can stand in that fire without running away, you will come out pure gold. You can't chase your dreams surrounded by people who don't believe in them. You can't grow if you're planted in toxic soil. The truth is, the people around you shape you more than you realize. Their words, their energy, their expectations, they either push you forward or they pull you down. If you're serious about achieving your dream, you've got to check your circle. You got to look at who you're spending time with and ask yourself, do they feed my hunger or do they starve it? Because the reality is you can't stay hungry if you're always around people who are satisfied with average. Average is contagious. Laziness is contagious. Doubt is contagious. If you're always hanging around people who are okay with mediocrity, eventually you'll start lowering your standards too. You'll start telling yourself, maybe I don't need to go that hard. Maybe this is enough. Maybe I should just settle. And that's how dreams die. Not from a lack of potential, but from being surrounded by the wrong environment. On the other hand, hunger is contagious too. Drive is contagious. Drive is contagious. Excellence is contagious. If you put yourself around people who wake up early, who put in the work, who believe that greatness is possible, you'll feel that energy. It will push you to do more, to be more, to become more. You become more. You gotta stop thinking you can do this alone. Nobody makes it alone. Every great athlete has a coach. Every great musician has a mentor. Every great leader has a team. You need people in your corner who won't let you quit, who won't let you settle, who won't let you waste your gift. The right circle doesn't just clap when you win. They challenge you when you're slipping. They call you out when you're being lazy. They hold you accountable to the standard you said you wanted for yourself. That's love. That's love. That's the port. That's the kind of circle that keeps the hunger alive. But let's be real. Some of you are too loyal to the wrong people. Man, keep holding on to friends who are holding you back. You keep entertaining relationships that drain you. You keep surrounding yourself with people who laugh at your goals, who tell you to be realistic, who try to pull you back every time you move forward. And you called it loyalty. Listen to me. Loyalty doesn't mean letting people drag you down. Loyalty doesn't mean sacrificing your dream so someone else feels comfortable. Loyalty doesn't mean staying stuck just so nobody feels left behind. Sometimes the most loyal thing you can do is succeed so you can show others what's possible. You gotta protect your energy. You've gotta guard your hunger because not everybody deserves access to you. Not everybody deserves a seat at your table. Some people only come to take, to distract, to derail. And if you're not careful, you'll spend so much energy carrying dead weight that you won't have the strength to climb. You can't climb to the top dragging people who don't even want to move. You can love them, you can pray for them. You can't let them stop you. Look, success is lonely sometimes. That's the truth nobody tells you. There will be nights where you're grinding while everybody else is partying. There will be mornings where you're up before the sun while everybody else is sleeping. There will be seasons where you feel like nobody understands you, like nobody sees the vision but you. And in those moments, you got to choose between being comfortable with the crowd or being committed to your calling. If you want the dream, you got to be willing to stand apart, to separate, to rise above. But here's the beautiful part. When you align with the right people, the journey gets lighter. When you're around hungry people, you don't feel crazy for wanting more. You feel normal, you feel inspired, you feel challenged. Iron sharpens iron. Greatness awakens greatness. Greatness. Being in the right circle makes you realize you're not alone, that there are others who think like you, grind like you, sacrifice like you. And that energy, that's fuel. That's the fire that keeps you going on the days when you feel like giving up. So I need you to do a real audit of your life. Who are the top 5 people you spend the most time with? What do they talk about? Do they talk about growth or do they gossip? Do they talk about possibility or do they complain? Do they inspire you or do they drain you? Because whether you realize it or not, you're becoming like them. If you hang with dreamers, you'll dream bigger. If you hang with grinders, you'll work harder. If you hang with complainers, you'll complain more. It's that simple. You can't outgrow your environment if you never change your environment. And listen, sometimes the person holding you back is family. Sometimes it's people you love. Sometimes it's people who mean well, but don't understand. And that's tough because you don't want to cut them off, but you also can't let them kill your hunger. The key is boundaries. You don't have to cut everybody out, but you do have to limit how much influence they have over your mindset. You can still love them, still respect them, but you can't let their small vision shrink your big dream. The truth is, hunger thrives on exposure. You can't stay hungry if you're only surrounded by the familiar. You've got to expose yourself to people doing bigger things, thinking bigger thoughts, living bigger lives. You've got to read their books, watch their stories, listen to their journeys. Because the more you see what's possible, the more impossible starts to look small. The more you surround yourself with winners, the more you start to think like one. Stop being afraid to outgrow people. Stop dimming your light so others feel comfortable in their darkness. Stop pretending to be average when greatness is in you. The right people will celebrate your shine, not resent it. The right people will push you higher, not pull you lower. The right people will water your dream, not poison it. And if you don't have those people yet, go find them. Join groups, find mentors, seek out communities that are chasing the same things you are. Build a circle that reflects the future you want, not the past you've outgrown. Because at the end of the day, hunger is not just about what's inside you. It's also about who you let around you. You can have the biggest dream in the world, but if your circle is full of doubt, negativity, and laziness, that dream will starve. On the other hand, even if your dream feels small right now, if your circle is full of passion, positivity, and hunger, that dream will grow. Your circle is the soil and your dream is the seed. If you plant it in the wrong soil, it dies. If you plant it in the right soil, it thrives in the right soil, thrives. So protect your soil. Choose your circle wisely. Surround yourself with hunger, and your hunger will never fade. Surround yourself with growth, and you'll never stop growing. Surround yourself with greatness, and sooner or later, you become great too. When it comes to chasing your dreams, there's a difference between wanting something and needing it. A want is optional. A want is something you'll pursue as long as it's convenient, as long as it doesn't cost too much, as long as the road is smooth. But a need is non-negotiable. A need is survival. A need is something you refuse to live without. Until your dreams become a need, until you decide they're non-negotiable, you will always find an excuse to quit. You will always have a reason to delay. You will always accept less than what you were born to have. The most powerful shift you can make is when you stop treating your dream like a luxury and start treating it like oxygen, something you cannot live without. Think about it. When you need air, you don't procrastinate. You don't say, I'll breathe tomorrow. You don't wait until you feel like it. You fight, you scratch, you claw for every single breath, because without it, you die. That's the kind of urgency you need for your dream. It has to be more than something that would be nice to have. It has to be something you will fight for, sacrifice for, bleed for. When your dream becomes non-negotiable, nothing can stop you. not failure. Not failure, not setbacks, not rejection. Because no matter what happens, you won't quit. You'll adjust, you'll pivot, you'll grow, but you won't quit. The problem with most people is that they treat their dreams like hobbies. They put them on a shelf, take them down when they feel motivated, and put them away again when it gets hard. That's why so many people live frustrated. Because deep down, they know they're capable of more, but they've given themselves permission to treat their potential as optional. And if it's optional, you'll always choose comfort over calling. You'll always choose easy over excellence. You'll always choose someday over today. But when it's non-negotiable, comfort is no longer an option. Excuses are no longer an option. Quitting is no longer an option. You either move forward or you suffocate where you are. I need you to think about your dream right now. That vision that keeps you awake at night. That fire that burns in your chest when you see someone else living the life you know you're capable of.